to a hat size for all of those who are wondering. I'm 342 3/8, and I know there were plenty of you wondering. Off to your immediate right is our craft warehouse and outdoor motor pool. Those colorful sedans were used in the movie Dick Tracy, starring Warren Beatty, Al Pacino, and Madonna. The big airplane on the corner was known to airports around the country as the 234 Mickey Mouse. We call it the Mouse for short. Walt Disney bought the Mouse back in 1964. One of its first assignments was to shuttle Walt and his Imagineers between California and New York during the final stages of the World's Fair, where two of our attractions, It's a Small World and Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, were making their grand debut. The two silver space pods are from the 1986 Disney film Flight of the Navigator. And across the street over on your left-hand side, you'll find our bungalows. Those are the headquarters for the production crews currently filming here at our studios. Bungalow number 1 is always home to Blue Wave Productions, or better known to us as MMC, the Mickey Mouse Club. They are currently on hiatus and will begin filming their 8th season very soon. Bungalow number 2, we have a sitcom, Family Matters, which airs on ABC. They will be here March 8th through the 16th to tape around on location on all 3 theme parks, so keep an eye out for Urkel and his gang. That's also where the producers and directors meet. You never know who you might see wandering between our bungalow and sound stages. Over on your right, you'll find our greens department, where we store some of our plants, trees, and shrubbery until they're needed on a set. Each of these are grown in portable pots that can be easily transported to and from the sets. Greenery is used to hide what the camera and you, the audience, are not supposed to see. The sculpted figures are called topiaries. They took about 3 months to develop. But depending on a topiary size, shape, and plant material, it could take 10 years to fully develop one of those. There are over 160 topiaries scattered throughout the Disney World area. But right now we are going into one of our more glamorous departments, I think, creative costuming. And here it all begins with the designer sketch, and on the far walls inside, you can see some examples of our designers' work. From there, our seamstresses and tailors take over. They use over 12,000 garments. In the display cases off to the left, those are to create and manufacture all of the costumes that we use here at Walt Disney World. And this does make us the world's largest working wardrobe, with over 2.5 million costumes. Just beyond that, you'll find our, which was filmed entirely in the Orlando area. It's also used by Bill Murray for the comedic climax in the movie Quick Change. Everything on that plane, including the coffee maker, still works. Off to your left, you'll find our scenic shop. And that's where our creative artists and craftsmen create and maintain all of the sets that we use here at Walt Disney World. Right now they're working on some sets to promote Pocahontas, but at one time they even turned the outside of the shop into a set. For the movie Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, the sequel to Honey, I Shrunk the Kid, starring Rick Moranis, the outside shots to Sterling Laboratories were done right here. The scene in Guard Shack off to the left was a part of that set, and the solar van inside is only one of 3 identical prop cars used to film that movie. Underneath this green canopy is our underwater special effects tank that was built for Terry Hogan's TV series Thunder in Paradise. The bottom ranges in depth from 4 to 16 feet and is sculpted to look like the bottom of an ocean. Not only do they film scenes in the tank, but also throughout the entire Disney property. But right now we're heading into our residential street, and people tell us all the time how much they love Disney World and how they would love to move here. But before you pack your bags and try to buy a house in American architecture, number 242, the second house on your right, was used by Jim Varney in the movie Ernest Saves Christmas for the exterior shots of Verne's house. This was the first full-length feature filmed here at the Disney-MGM studios. Off to your left, under the carport, the pink Mercedes was driven by Dolly Parton in the movie Straight Talk. The red Cadillac was driven by Penelope Ann Miller in The Gun and Betty Lou's Handbag. Now, when production crews travel from city to shoot on location, they often encounter things like crowds, traffic, and noise. So they prefer to shoot on a back lot where they can control some of these types of things. Each of these homes has been used at one time, and probably our most famous is off to your left. The beige Hawaiian style was home for 7 seasons to the Emmy Award-winning Golden Girls, Blanche, Dorothy, Rose, and Sophia. The outside shots were filmed here, and then put together with all the interior footage shot on a soundstage way out in California. That's quite a bit of ways from your front door to your living room. Right next door is Alice's home in the Disney Channel's Adventures in Wonderland, and across the street from Alice are the neighbors to the Golden Girls, the Westons. From Touchstone Television's hit sitcom Empty Nest, the show stars Richard Mulligan, Dinah Manoff, Park Overall, and my favorite, Bear the dog, as Dreyfus. And speaking of dogs, every neighborhood needs its own little watchdog, and ours is no different. But he's really not that little. It's a 30-foot bulldog cafe from the movie The Rocketeer, where the Flyers meet to eat in the movie. The airplane out front is known as the GB airplane. It was a gift from Howard Hughes to the Rocketeer in the movie, but it's actually nothing more than a full-size prop that was never quite meant to get off of the ground. Because I don't get to see you guys except when we turn these very big corners. Hi. So I like to make sure you guys are all behaving yourselves back there. Okay. Now we are heading into our boneyard. And it's in the movie The Untouchables, starring Sean Connery and Kevin Costner. And these Army vehicles can be drafted into service at any time. Some of them, like the two-seater convertible, the cargo truck, and the tank at the far end, were used by director Steven Spielberg in the movie Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, starring Harrison Ford and Sean Connery. And as we pass by the tank, notice what seems to be metal tread on the runners is actually made of foam rubber for the safety of our stunt actors. And there is a rumor that there is another Indiana Jones script being written, so it really wasn't the Last Crusade, they were just joking. The three light blue sedans are from the movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit. In the movie, Bob Hoskins as Detective Eddie Valiant drove his girlfriend Dolores' sedan into Toontown. Each time it was shot, hit, or blown up, it had to be replaced. Those were only 3 out of 7 cars used to film that very short sequence. The electric trolley car is also from that movie, but it's nothing more than a modified bus. It's a lot cheaper and easier for us to modify a bus than to lay down trolley tracks everywhere. All we do is paint the lines on the ground and the bus rolls right over them. The helicopter cockpit section is from the movie Blue Thunder with Roy Scheider. The 2 pushcarts and beat-up bobsled are from the 1993 Disney film Cool Runnings, starring Dougie Doug and John Candy. The 2 futuristic cars are from the movie Blade Runner, starring Harrison Ford, and the car in the middle is a Coyote car from the television sitcom Hardcastle and McCormick. If you look across the canal, you can get a real inside view of our residential street. Notice how the architectural details, like the shingles on the roof, stop just out of camera range. That's because we only build what the camera needs to see. It's an old Hollywood trick that we call saving money.